Do you know what I mean? Because that's the dream. Like, I mean, not the specific dream.
Yeah, I get you,
but
I get you.
at the height of when you should be doing the most, you're doing fuck all squared
Right,
and not feeling guilty about it.
I've had times where I've had a bit of free time, and I would like to think that I think outside the box. Never. And I repeat, let me emphasise, never. I've come up with some wild stuff.
Yeah.
You would need to send the Coast Guard out to the mid-Atlantic. That's this far out.
Yeah.
How did you come up with, right, why a Wednesday? Why 10 o'clock in the morning? Why red wine?
It was just,
and why Ben Hur?
It was just so irresponsible, right? Of kids. If you walk in your dad, well, maybe I'm doing to Glasgow, and I'm also from Belfast, so it's pretty normal. But if, to walk in and see your dad, right, son, with a bottle of red wine with his top off, watching Ben Hur, because Ben Hur's a long movie.
It's a fucking.
You can't go home after work and watch that.
No,
you could maybe watch it on a Sunday, where it's raining outside, just after your Sunday dinner. You could watch Ben Hur. Yeah. But there's actually your family are going to go, Dad, we're not watching this shit for 3.5 hours. Yeah. So for me, it was like there's this thing where it was like it was a movie. It was a long movie. It was indulgent. Nobody in the house wants to watch this. Not only that, I closed the door. I actually told my wife, I says, Jenna, today's the day. What? You're homeschooling? What do you mean? I am going to bed with a bottle of red wine. And I went past my pants and I had a plate of loads of cheeses. Just walked down the hall, right? Now, this is so removed from, like, you see your image and you paint the light and surrounds around. It's so far away because I am so productive. So for me, and actually, do you know what? An hour and a half into it, right? I was drunk because I drank all the red wine. And actually, I opened the door and went, does anyone want to come and spend time with me? I was actually really bored of myself, So, but yeah, that was what I wanted to do. So that was, COVID was whenever I decided, that I had more time to do whiskey. Whiskey's time consuming. So I was doing it at the weekends, making mash, waiting 2 weeks to ferment. But over COVID, the weather was phenomenal as well. So I was able to mash outside and I was just mashing, and social media wasn't happening. And talk about that dopamine thing that just been taken away from us. Some people did do prints, some people were active. I did that for a bit, bought clay, did a sculptor, painted a painting and whatever, and then just started doing the whiskey, and then taking photographs of it and putting it on social media. And I like the building of something. Like it's so easy to do it. Like you can literally have an idea, and if you're half savvy with a phone, by the time you wake up, you could have a business website, you could have a business Instagram and a few photographs, and that's that ball. It's like it wasn't thrown in front of me. Sometimes now you're thrown off the edge of a cliff, and you're like, and you watch the chain go. You're like, oh fuck, it's happening now, and before you know it, you're like, and it's happening, and that's where the whiskey's at now.
So you're doing the whiskey before COVID at the weekends?
I was doing it before COVID weekend. I was making liquid probably 2017, I think. I bought my first still, and just making poaching, moonshine, corn and rye mash. So it was like very much like new make, but a bit more sweet because I was using corn and rye.
I got someone brought in the Paul that you did his front. You did the Hanyamas.
That's right. Yeah.
I've did his back.
Yeah.
And he brought me some Puccino over
that
his dad had made.
Yeah.
So I've got a bottle in the shop.
Yeah.
So that's fucking cool.
Massive big
How's
thing.
it meant to be said?
I say poaching, but people do say poaching.
Ah, yeah, because
I guess a lot of us do the Irish accent.
It's one of those words though. I can like P-O-I-T. I'm like, how the fuck do you meant to say
I think
that?
it's poaching. Most people say it's more the accent that they paid it. For different parts of Northern or Ireland, you'll say poaching, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's what I started making, and it was just, I think, there's no doubt about it. Having a social media presence certainly helped the brand. But whenever I started it, I didn't want to actually share.
Like on your
either
page.
on either.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say on the Dragon Claw thing that it was owned by at Chris Crooks or vice versa. And I try to run them separately. And I honestly, I think that it's because over the years, I sort of went through a period, and you probably remember when I lost the weight and the beard was trimmed, and if you'd have seen me, you'd have thought he doesn't even look like a tattooist. He looks more like he works on Wall Street or something like that. And I think, honestly, if I was being truthful, that was probably a hang-up that I had that, when I started tattooing, we are smart. We are, like, business savvy. We are creative. We are passionate.
Yeah.
But yet, we're always like, if you're sitting around with a bunch of like career people, it's like, oh, you just do tattoos. And I think the whiskey, I wanted to, as much as I was passionate about making whiskey, I wanted to do a business that would be like, be a business that people would respect. Weirdly, was I went into that world because there's no crossover. No one in that world had a fucking clue who Chris Crooks the tattooist was. And for about 6 months to a year when I did events or went to stuff, like, you're the whiskey guy. See, for the first few weeks, I actually liked it. Like Clark Kent. It's like, no, you're the whiskey guy. You're the whiskey guy for a few weeks. And you know what actually made me realize after 6 months? I actually felt like I cheated on tattooing. And I actually, do you know what I mean? I'm not the whiskey guy.